Hi everybody, my name is Robin and welcome to my channel BirdsEyeStitches. This is a channel about cross stitch, so if you are new here, then welcome. I hope you are here because you have a love of cross stitch like I do. And if you are returning, also welcome. And I hope you are here because you have a love of cross stitch like I do. So whether you're new or returning, just thank you so much for tuning into my channel and for choosing to spend a little bit of your day with me to see stitching, little tiny bit of life updates, and all of the stitchy things. So let's see, today it is Sunday. It is August 29th. Last time I filmed was, I think, really early August, maybe even very end of July. I don't know. I was gonna go back and look, but if I do that, it will take away from the time of filming, and it is very late in the afternoon, which is not the normal time that I film. But I woke up really late this morning. I got sucked into a Netflix show last night. It was called All American, and it's a football show. I don't really watch football. I like to play sports. Terrible at them, but they are fun to play. But I don't watch sports. I don't follow sports. I don't know. But the show, it's a drama show. It's not really a football show. It's more drama based. That I like to watch sometimes when you just need to decompress and do nothing. I did stitch while I watched it, very slowly, but I did. Anyway, I watched like 6 episodes, and next thing I knew it was like midnight 30 and time to go to bed. Then I slept in, saw a friend for lunch. If my voice cracks out, I'm not sick, it's just because I've been chatting, and sometimes when you talk too much, your voice gets a little cracky. I don't know, at least mine does. So, with that said, enough of the chatting. I have lots of stitching to show you. I say it has been a little while since I filmed. There's actually, I will go over this way more in depth on my next video because I have some giveaway winners from my 1,000 subscriber giveaway video that we're doing a SAL, because that was part of the giveaway. You know, you got to choose whatever pattern, and then I would also purchase it. I'd purchase it for the winner and for myself, and then we would do a SAL. And from that, I actually had a couple of you guys put in some comments that there were some things you wanted to stitch along with me. And they were either things I haven't started yet, but I'd shown in a haul, or anyway. I have a list started, and I've got a couple emails I need to reply to. So on my next video, I will be talking about that list and those SALs, because they're not happening necessarily in September, except for one, I believe. So I plan to film next week, so we will go over that then. Again, it's late in the day, and if I didn't break out the film, it was not going to happen. So let's just get to it. I have lots of stitching, some whips, some new starts, a little bit of birthday haul, and I will go over a little bit of plans, mainly some plans for in the magazine monthly challenge, the ABCingo. I keep switching out how I say it. It's ABCingo, but sometimes you'll see. Anyway, we'll talk about that too. Okay. Getting right to it. Let's see. The first, actually this is really no particular order other than how I happen to stack them up on my table. So one of the things, I shouldn't say the first thing that I worked on, but one of the things I worked on was for the magazine monthly challenge group. For the theme for August was birds, because August is my birthday month, and you know I love birds. So I did a new start for that, and the piece that I started was the one that you guys actually chose. It is from the Ultimate Cross Stitch magazine, volume 11, 2016. Magazine looks like this, and the piece that I am stitching is A Winter's Morning, and one day it will look like this. All right, mine is being stitched on a piece of 32 count even weave by Fortnite Fabrics. I saved my tag just so I would not forget to say it, using it as a bookmark. And the color is in Cresting Wave. So let's see how this translates here. Okay, it is just a new start, so I am to here. I did a center start on this guy, so Obviously this is a little bit of the robin's breast here, and then a little bit of the gray there. So, and actually, even though I feel like this lighting is a little bit odd, it's picking up the color of the fabric really nicely. It is a very, very light blue. So it looks like that. So new start on this guy. I'm actually gonna keep this one out. I kept it in the Q snap because I plan to work on this quite a bit over this next month, because it's gonna be a few different letters in my, my ABCingo board. That one. Then another item that I worked on here is, it's by Monarch Horizons, and it is from the Birds of a Feather chart. This is the one that I've shown. You guys are gonna see a lot of this because this is just gonna stay in my rotation until it's done. So my grandmother-in-law stitched this one, and I am stitching the Hummingbirds. So last time you guys saw this, I had done, well, I'll show you on this guy. Last time I had done this hummingbird here, and then I did this stick and flowers down to about here. So since then, I finished the second hummingbird. So we are here. This is stitched on a piece of 14 count. It's just some Aida in the color light blue. I think it's a Charles Craft, regular 14 count Aida. But I got through the second hummingbird here and all of the back stitch. So my plan on this guy, this is also gonna be in the ABCingo board, and I am going to do, I'm trying to keep it in my rotation, and I'm also trying to stitch on it. And I'm not doing it by time. I'm going back to the method of having a goal of things to finish on each piece. Just that worked for me a lot better than trying to do the timers. So I am going to be stitching this hummingbird next. So I'm going to stitch down and on this branch, and then I'd like to get started on this hummingbird here. So that is the goal on that, and it will stay in my rotation. Again, it's on the Q snap because it's going to stay until it's done. Now the first piece that I showed you from the magazine, that one will stay in my rotation just through the ABCingo board. So whenever the letter for that gets called, or the few letters for that get called, I will work on it, and then it will probably come off the Q snap and be tucked away. It'll be worked on it again at some point, but it's not gonna stay in my normal until you finish it type rotation. Just because I've been doing a lot of new starts lately, and I really wanna get some finishes done, so something's gotta give. That's the one, it's gotta give. All right, another one that I worked on is Lindystitch's Beautiful Things. And this guy here, which you all have seen a million times because many people are stitching it. This one is being stitched on a piece of Stitch Me fabric. It is in the color Martini, and it is a 36 count linen. I am stitching this one called 4 colors. It's a mix of the DMC and the Fancy Floss. And it is a mix of 1/2 and 2/2 because I started at 2/2, I didn't love it, I went to 1/2, and then I forgot that I went to 1/2 and restarted 2/2, didn't love it. I am now fully committed to 1/2. So anyway. Last time I saw it, I had this whole flower here done all the way down to the vase, and I have now, what I worked on was the rest of the vase. So there's a lot of this vase. The vase is now complete. And the vase is beautiful, but there is a lot of stitching going on in that. So that is done. As you can see, this one is no longer on the Q snap, so this one is getting put away until another challenge or something along those lines call for it. So that's Lindystitches. Okay, the next one I worked on, it was not a new start, but it is one that I had only done a few stitches in because I started it for Mania last year. And that was Sunset by Rosewood Manor. Beautiful piece, looks like this. It's actually, it's really funny how much your tastes change when you're stitching. Like I say, I started this for Mania, so a year and a couple months ago, and I still love this piece. Absolutely love it. It's beautiful. Can't wait to finish it one day. But when I started this, part of the reason, besides all of the bright yellows and oranges, that it really called to me was the bright blue fabric. And so I am stitching mine, got my little tag here. So mine is being stitched on a piece of Kaleidoscope by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. It's a 32 count linen, and it's gorgeous, and it is a very close match to the called for. I forget what the called for is. It's not Kaleidoscope, but it is very close. As I was stitching on it last night, this is what I was stitching on when I was watching that show, I realized that with all of these colors going on, I kind of wish that I had done just a basic gray, because you know that gray is my neutral. So for me, neutral, not so much brown, I always go gray. And I kind of wish I had done a gray on this. I had only done, I almost had a big slide of stuff. I had only done this first diamond right here. So clearly I could have said, never mind, I've got plenty of fabric in my stash that would have worked for this. But I'd already started it. So I'm going with it, I'm sticking with it. It will be gorgeous. I got through, it doesn't look like much, but this was actually a long time. This is the whole top row of the first page. So there is 2 colors in each one of these little diamonds. So it took forever because I only had the one needle. I was doing a color change every, I don't know, 20 stitches. There's, 20 stitches in the outside diamond, less than that on the inside diamond. So I just felt like I was constantly changing colors because I was. So that took a long time, but it is gorgeous. This one is staying on the Q-snap. This one is going to stay in my rotation as the sampler piece that I would like to work through. It is on my ABCingo board, so you guys will see that quite a bit through that. I'm also going to be using this one in the semi-sane stitches. I am trying to get into some of those challenge groups just because my stitchy bug has been truly back in action, and it really took just stitching on whatever I wanted this month, and now I have the bug to get back into the challenges and all of that stuff. So I'm doing one challenge. We'll get into that, I guess, in planning. But anyway, this is going to be staying in the rotation, and hopefully we'll see some good progress on this. So gorgeous piece. I was also laughing because, again, only a year ago, and I still use these. This is just a regular old like 3x5 index card, and I use a hole puncher. It works fine. But I am now spoiled because I have all of these fancy tools to hold my floss that work way better than the 3x5 card, especially when, I don't know what I was thinking with this, but this piece has a lot of dang colors. So I'm like doubled up on this tiny little card. This will get the boot by the end, I'm sure. For now it's fine, it works, but it did make me laugh about, I guess, how spoiled I've become in the land of the tools. So there's that. Speaking of being spoiled with the tools, this grime guard. This grime guard was a gift that I received in the mail from one of you guys, Anne. Anne has become a good friend of mine. She watches my videos most of the time. She comments all the time. Her and we chat back and forth on Facebook Messenger, and she sent me this beautiful grime guard from Garan Stitchery. I was going to say Garan Toten Bags, and it still is Garan Toten Bags, but from Garan Stitchery, which is their website you can purchase these off of. But thank you very much, Anne. I know in one of my previous videos I talked about how I needed to buy a new Q-snap, but if I get a new Q-snap, then I like to have a new grime guard, because I just keep the grime guard on the Q-snap. I don't match it to my project, I just keep it on the Q-snap so it's ready to go. And so every time I get a grime guard, I go onto the Garan site, and then I spend $50 because I can't help myself between the grime guard, fill in the blank, pattern or two, fill in the blank, fabric or two, you know what I mean. It turns into $50. So anyway, Anne sent me this beautiful grime guard for my birthday, It is already in use and will stay with this project. It's like a sea of blues until, I don't know if it'll stay in my rotation until it's complete, but it's definitely going to stay in my rotation until there's some good progress on that. So worked on that one. And okay, last but not least, I feel a little bit scattered today just because it's so late in the day. It's not my normal film time. I'm a creature of habit. I do things. That's why I like cross stitch, right? X's and boxes, creature of habit. Sometimes you film at a different time. It throws you a little bit off your game. It's okay. All right, the last one that I worked on, it was a new start. While we're talking about tools. So I showed these in a recent video, but I purchased these from that So Kelly. These fancy things here. As you can see, I've only used 2 colors from this project so far, but they're hanging out here. It's got a magnet. It holds my scissors. I put all my little orts and things on this piece of felt. These things are fantastic. I'll put one of these in every single project bag. I figure once a month or so, pick one up. You can reuse them. They're glorious. Come in handy. I recommend. Come a long way from my day of the index card, right? All right, this is a new start. I am stitching Nora Corbett. It is Leo. This was a start because it is my birthday month. I also worked it into my acrostic for the magazine monthly challenge. I just did a new start on it. I'll be working on this a little bit more tonight just because I've only done a few stitches. Let's see. I got to, sometimes I forget which way it goes. This way. Okay. I am here. Go. This is being stitched on a piece of 32 count linen in the color Dead Sea Scroll. You can purchase this on Garon's site for Garon Stitchery, and it is a seraphim fabric. It is beautiful. It looks like this. So Ronnie from Garon Stitchery, and he pops in on the Sunshine Stitchers here and there. He's fantastic. Ronnie is stitching, and he is also stitching this chart. He did this as his birthday start. This was also my birthday start. So I thought that was funny. I did not even plan that. I didn't even know that he was going to do that until after I had already pulled everything and purchased it for that exact same purpose. So we were being twins there. We are both stitching Leo, and I have not seen their video from this week, so I don't know how far he is. He was stitching it on a bright colored fabric, so it looked much different from mine, but I want to say they put in their Facebook group that he changed the fabric, so I don't know. I gotta watch and see. But I got a pretty good start on this one. I'm going to continue stitching this one. In fact, this is the one I'm going to be stitching on later on tonight. I did want to show, I pulled these out. So this chart calls for two of the Water Lily silks. So I got these ordered up from 123 Stitch, and they are just beautiful. This is the first, I've never had any of these, any of the silks from Water Lilies. And number one, they are extremely soft, like really, really soft. And they are really, really pretty. So I'm super excited. I think I'm actually keeping this in my rotation longer simply so I can stitch with these. So it might make me into a silk stitcher. I hope not, because I do not have the budget to become a strictly silk stitcher, number one. Number two, I am doing lots of purchasing as of late because I am planning a type of no buy, sort of. I don't know. We'll see what happens for next year. So I'm just making sure I'm stockpiled in that land. And I don't have a lot of silk, so, but this is really pretty. It will be used very soon. Okay, that was all the stitching. Quite a bit, because most of that happened in the last couple of weeks, so that was good. I have just a little bit of haul to show. It's mainly birthday haul, since my birthday was just a couple weeks ago. And then I will show a little bit of plans. So, haul. I got a package in the mail from my friend Carolyn Stitch, an adorable birthday card. So this birthday card is going to go, if you can see there's a board behind me, that's where I put, when I get any cards in the mail or like Stitchy Kindness type cards, that's what goes on that board. So this will go up there. Thank you so much for the card. If you can see, it's got some cute little birds because all my cards have birds, because why not? So she sent me a package. Some of this stuff is stuff that she picked up at her local LNS that she'll kind of say, hey, I'm going shopping, and she'll show a couple things and I'll ask her to pick it up for me. Some of it is from that and some of it is birthday haul. So one thing that she sent to me was Chubby Bird. This was, I think it was an exclusive. I think, maybe. I don't remember anymore. But it's a Chubby Bird. Gotta stitch it. Adorable. Love the colors. Love the name. It has a cute little tin, so I can do a FFO on it. In theory, it should be relatively easy. It even comes with the finishing piece in the back. So thank you so much for sending that, Carolyn. She also sent me, I feel like she's trying to enable me in the land of silks because I have two beautiful pieces of silk here. Gray and yellow is definitely my thing. Gray and yellow, these are beautiful. These are Gloriana silks. This one is a yellow in the color Canary, very fitting. And the gray is in the color Pewter. It is a perfect cool tone gray. Love it. So I'm gonna use these on something, don't know what. Thank you for enabling me in the land of the silks. I also have First Signs of Spring because it's a robin and I love it. And then this is a whole kit. I think it is even stamped. I need to open it up and see if there's actual instructions besides the stamped, because I love the picture. I don't love the stamp thing going on. Who knows when I'll ever get to this, but it's beautiful. It is Romantic Story. Cross stitch? I don't know, it's in Chinese. I don't know what's going on, Chinese. It's pretty. Maybe I'll stitch it one day. Maybe I'll just put up this picture. I don't know. But I really like it. It's got trees, it has snow. Y'all know I'm not as into the Halloween, I'm more into the Christmas, specifically trees and snow and snowmen. Okay, the last thing I want to show from haul is going to be my husband. He picked up a couple of things from my 1, 2, 3 stitch list. And so we have A Promise of Spring, again, more robin birds. So we're gonna get that one stitched up. I love the colors on this one. That is by Cottage Garden Samplings. It's Songbird Garden Series number 4. I only have this one and I think one other. The other one that I have, my friend Anne is also stitching, and I want to start that one before I do this one. But one day we'll get that one stitched. Then he picked up Cafe Latte. This is by Alessandra Adelaide. Looks like this. You know, I love the ones that are just a single color, so this one will be a fun one to stitch. This one might have a couple of colors mixed in, but I will not be doing it in this color. I'll figure out my own as usual, but it's really pretty and I will get it stitched up. Maybe one day it can hang in the kitchen or something along those lines. And then last but not least, he picked me up a Riolus cross stitch kit. It is a pair of pansies. He knows that I like pansies. They are a beautiful flower. And this one would just be a fun one to stitch and, I don't know, put somewhere around the house, but very pretty. So very nice gift there. Okay, plans. So my number one plan for this next month is really, number one, it is to stitch. So I am trying to make a goal for the month of September to every night when I get home, even if it was a really busy night at work, to be able to pull out my cross stitch and stitch for 30 minutes. If I don't make the full 30 minutes, it's okay. If I only make 15 or 20 minutes, that's fine. I always feel better after I get a little bit of cross stitching in. And so my number one goal, break out something, work on something. I have a lot of things lined up, so it'll be very easy to be able to grab something and work on it, which is definitely needed when I'm trying to do something like ABCingo, because there's a lot of calling of numbers in that, and I know that if I have to go upstairs and dig something out and pull together pieces, it will not happen. I will get behind, and I do not want to get too far behind. So ABCingo, if you do not know what that is, number one, tune in to my friend Carolyn Stitch Flosstube. She does a fantastic job of describing this. She is far less scatterbrained than I am, so I will defer you to her, number one. I will now attempt to describe what this is. ABCingo is something that we do in the Magazine Monthly Challenge group on Facebook. The idea is kind of like a mix between bingo, well, it's a bingo. So we have a bingo board, 25 squares. The alphabet obviously is 26 letters. We took out the letter S just to make it a little bit more challenging. You get to choose any piece you want, whether it's a new start, a whip, a magazine piece, a regular piece, a Haid, completely your choice. But you have to make that piece fit in with the acrostic of the ABCs. So every letter of the alphabet is included in your 25 square board, and you can either do one project for all 25 squares if you are creative enough to make that work. I am not. Maybe if I really put my mind to it. Or you can have a new one for every single square. But every night we have already pulled the numbers, so we will announce the number for the day, and you have to do 100 stitches or 1 hour of stitching on that piece. Once we call the letter, after you complete that, you mark it off your board. And since there is more than 25 days in the month, if you do get behind, you will be able to get caught up by the end of the month. Now, at the end of the month, we will be doing some prizes. So every time you get a bingo, you get entered in to win a prize. And if you get a blackout at the end, you get entered in to win a different prize. So all different chances to win. But basically, a lot of people participate they participate in this in our Magazine Monthly Challenge group. It has definitely become a favorite of the group. We do a few different pop-ups throughout the year, and I think that this one is the favorite. So the first time we did Burringo because it was over the winter months, and so then that was Burringo, and this is like the revamp of it, ABCingo. So if you would like to join that, I will put the group down below to the Facebook group. There's a couple questions, just answer them real quick. You can join in. You can either watch or you can stitch. In fact, when we did Burringo, I only participated in about half of it, and this time I want to participate in all of it. So I will show my board and all of those things on the Facebook group because I couldn't get my printer to print it, so I think I'm going to do a hand-drawn board. But I'm going to show you just a couple of the pieces that are going to be used on a few different letters. I'm not doing 25 projects. I'm actually going to be doing 10 projects that I want to put some stitches in over this next month, and the 10 projects, they coincide with on Semi-Sane Stitchers, which is another Facebook group that I'm part of. I am doing the challenge, I wrote it down, the crazy domino effect. So on that one, you have to have 10 whips. And I'm going to have to get creative because I am not, it's kind of like dominoes, where you have like a 1 and a 2, and then you put a 2 next to the 2. Same idea, but you have to relate one cross stitch piece to the next one. I'm more participating in ABCingo, and so I'm going to have to be very creative in how my ABCingo piece is going to correlate to my domino piece. But I do have 10 pieces, so I have the faith that it will work. All right, here are some of the pieces I'm going to be working on that have more than one square on the ABCingo board. The first one, I'm not going to get into too much detail. I was just going to say what they were. And this one's cased because I just brought out the pattern, but this is the Majestic Unicorn that I am close to finishing, but not quite. This one's going to stay in my rotation. Gosh darn it, I need to finish it. I have got to finish this dang piece. So I am going to be working on this one and then keeping it in my rotation. I kind of like the idea of having one full coverage piece, having my temperature tree, and then having a sampler, and then like a bird piece. It's like having those 4 things in my rotation all the time. Plus a magazine piece. Okay, now I'm getting a little crazy, but you know what I mean. So this one will be worked on quite a bit throughout the challenge. See how far we get there. The next one that I will be working on, this is actually going to be a new start that I was going to start in August, but Ronnie from Sunshine Stitchers, he messaged me and says that there is going to be a sale within their group to work on this in September, so I postponed it, and this is now on my ABCingo board. But this is Family of Birds by Octavio Ocampo. Looks like this. Now this one, even if Carolyn calls the numbers, the letters that correspond to this beforehand, I have to wait on this one because that sale is not starting until September 24th. It's kind of late in the month. We'll see. Maybe I'll start it early. I don't know. We'll see. But that one will come out and stay out for quite a bit. Another new start that I'm going to be doing is one that I purchased for my daughter. It is an Owl Forest, and I believe I'm going to be stitching this one with one of the subscribers as well, but I will update you guys on all of those on my next video. This is, I don't know what in the world it's called because it's in Russian, but it's a snail with a house, and it is the green one, as I call it, because there's all different versions. I think there's 3 different colorways. They have different houses and everything, but my daughter is a big fan of greens and browns, so I went with this one. So this one will come out and stay out quite a bit throughout the month. And then last but not least, I want to get working on my temperature tree. So I have incorporated the temperature tree into my ABCingo. That is one thing about this challenge. If you can do it, you can really make some good progress because you can incorporate it into quite a few letters. I think this is like 4 letters on my board. So I am here, and if I could get through a couple more of these branches, I will not get caught up by the end of the month, but we'll see. I might get close. The branches, they really stitch up quick. A lot of this does stitch up really quick. It's just getting in the mindset to want to do all of the color changes of the leaves. And I just like to stitch. If I could just have somebody like threading the needle and putting it in order for me. I need an assistant. My daughter is 13. She's too old to be an assistant. I need an assistant. Okay. Really, I just need to thread my needles beforehand. That's honestly what I need to do, and lay them out so that way I can just stitch and call it a day. All right, those are the ones that have multiple squares. Like I said, I'll be stitching on 10 different pieces this next month, so you might not see a whole lot of progress in some things, but there should be a fair amount of stitching. And like I said, my main goal is really just to sit down and take the time to decompress and do some stitching each night. New job and family stuff going on. It's just been a little bit extra hectic in my life, and so I'm looking forward to some time to just relax and turn on a random show, or more than likely watch a random Flosstube and, you know, relax before bed each night. So fingers crossed that will occur. And I am planning to film again in a pretty short time, so I may not have a whole lot of progress to show you, but there are some updates that I want to give. I want to get caught up on some email and whatnot, and to really get my thoughts more in order than they are when I'm doing a random afternoon film. And so I will see you guys in about a week. Happy stitching. I hope you all are very safe and very well, and I will see you all 7-ish days. Happy stitching. Bye.